jam is always made at Admiral Bonnet's house. Each jar was washed out and scrubbed clean by Barnacle Bow and decorated and painted by Granny Gull. She also made cloth lids which Hitch-Stitch tied round the top of the jar. Each one looked as good as new, or, as Granny Gull would have said, better for having lived a bit. Skittle was sure that nothing horrible could have happened as long as Roo-Roo jam was being made. She was about to ask if they had heard anything when there was another loud snap, followed by a colossal crickety-clang, which all adds up to a very big noise, the kind of noise no one had ever heard before on Rubbish Island. "What was that?" said Skittle. "Search my tea-bag," said Broo. "Something's happened," said Pinch, "and that's a fact." Chapter 2, where we discover that something that should have been on Rubbish Island is missing. One of the main landmarks of Rubbish Island before the rather loud noise happened was Bottle Mountain. It loomed like a long shadow, which made the work of steering the island very tricky, as it blocked the view. Over time, Bottle Mountain had grown taller and heavier. It had become a big problem that no Tindim wanted to think about. The noise they heard just after lunch that flood tide was Bottle Mountain breaking away and sliding into the sea. Now it was bobbing over the edge of the world, and with it was Granny Gull and Barnacle Bow's house. "Oh dear," said Granny Gull. "Oh dear. Dearie me. At least none of us were on Bottle Mountain, and that's a good thought. Except, of course, for our dear little house, and all that was in our dear little house." "We'll get it back," said Barnacle Bow. "How?" asked Granny Gull. "How, I don't know," said Barnacle Bow, "but at least it's shaped like a boat." Spokes, who was in charge of the engine room at the bottom of the island, came rushing up to Admiral Bonnet's house. "Bottle Mountain!" Spokes shouted. "It's gone!" "Yes," they all said. "Oh, I've managed to save the cable car from floating away," said Spokes. "Well done," said Barnacle Bow. The cable car went from Rubbish Island to Granny Gull's house, at the very top of Bottle Mountain. It used to be the fastest way to get from one place to another. "Never mind," said Granny Gull bravely. "Worse things happen at sea. At least we're all safe and sound." But somehow Skittle didn't feel that they were. "Where's Dad?" she asked. "Where's Captain Spoons?" But no one seemed to be listening. "Think how much worse this could be," said Hitch-Stitch, "if anyone had been on Bottle Mountain." "Yes," agreed Ethelberdina, "we are lucky that today is Roo-Roo jam-making day." Chapter 3, where we find out that 2 Tindims are missing. But why? And who might they be? Admiral Bonnet was looking out of the kitchen window at Bottle Mountain, fast becoming a dot in the distance. Just then there was a knock on the door, and to Broo's relief there was his dad Jug and his mum Mug, holding his baby sister Cup. They'd come to check that everyone had all their bits and bobs. Spoke said, "You didn't happen to see Broom on your way here?" Broom was in charge of the gardens on Rubbish Island. He was the tallest of all the Tindims. In fact, it would be hard not to see him, even though he was green. "No," said Jug. "I thought he would be here, ready to deliver the Roo-Roo jam." "Have you seen Captain Spoons?" asked Skittle. "No," said Mug. "Your dad," said Admiral Bonnet, "went to the library to find a book on the explorer Tindim. He is likely reading down by Turtle Bay." "No, Mum," said Skittle. "We've been down there and we didn't see Dad." "And we didn't see Broom," said Jug. "Oh dear, oh dearie me," said Granny Gull.